Okay, so here we are, the final video lesson in this VTM, and what we're going to do is wrap things up by enhancing our enemy class so that the move function is aware of game items, not just necessarily mana potions, but game items in general. And what do we need to do to worry about that? Well, first of all, when an enemy steps on, let's just refer to this as potions. When an enemy steps on a potion, what happens? Well, the potion's going to disappear, the enemy's going to be drawn. When the enemy steps off of that position, what happens? Well, currently, we have already seen with the previous videos that basically it disappears. It's gone. It's still there. We can run over it. We can still get mana points, but we don't see it. The same thing that happened when a fireball originally went over a potion. So I need to make sure that when an enemy steps off of where a potion was located, or a game item in general, that item will then be shown immediately. So a little different than working with fireballs, where the fireball actually destroyed that particular game item, and then the game item respawned after a few minutes. In this particular case, we need to make sure that's visible just as soon as the evil monkey steps off of it. So let's go ahead and jump over here into our enemy.cpp file, and the first thing I want to do is make sure we go ahead and include the pickup header file. Don't want to make the same mistake we did in the last video. Okay, so now we are aware of pickups. So let's go ahead and drop down in here. Everything's going to take place inside of our move function. Now, if you guys remember previously, the way this works is our enemy knows where it is in X and it knows its position in Y. So we know where we're at, we being the enemy. We send into the move function an X and a Y telling us in which direction we're going to move. And then we take that X and Y value and add it to our current position and temporarily store it over into XPOS and YPOS that we're going to turn around and use in just a second. Then we check to see if where we're going to be moving is a valid location. And if it is a valid location, then we need to make sure that we do not run into any enemies. Once we have verified that we're not going to run into any enemies and it is a valid position, what we're going to do is we're going to erase where we're currently at. We're then going to take our position in X and Y, and right there, we actually take a step into that particular direction. We set our facing direction, we then redraw our evil monkey or draw ourselves, and then from there, if we have hit the player, then we are going, which is our goal, then we're going to kill them. That's simple, okay? Well, some modifications that need to be done here. Basically, we need to start out by first, after looping through all of our enemies, we now need to turn around and loop through all of our game items and check to see if where we're standing right before we move off is a position that had a game item there. So to do this, I'm going to create a variable up here that I'm going to use to tell me if I need to draw the floor or not in that location. So it's going to be a bool draw floor, and we're going to assume that starting out, we are never standing on top of a game item. So we're always going to draw the floor once we move off that location. We'll draw the floor. So we'll go ahead and set that as true to begin with. Now what I want to do is let's come down here and grab our little loop where we are walking through our list. And let's see, right about here. Let's paste that and close it off like such. Now let's come up here and, of course, change NPC over to game items. And same as over here, game items. All right, great. Now we're looping through our game items. Well, what do we want to do? We want to check if our location matches the location of anything inside the game items list. This means that we're obviously standing on top of some game item. And if that is the case, then what I want to do is go ahead and set draw floor to false, so that when we move off, we don't want the floor to get drawn. Basically, we want our sprite to get drawn, which of course the floor is going to be up underneath it, so it's all going to work out well. So what I'm going to do, instead of typing out this very long line next for checking, is I'm just simply going to come over here to my, let's see, we did it in the fireball in the last lesson, and we'll come down here to where we loop through all the game items, and here's where we check locations. Well, guess what? Same exact code. So let's copy these two lines right here. Let's go ahead and come back over here to enemy and paste. Beautifully done. Okay, so there we go. Now, again, it's exactly what we're looking for. We're just casting it to an integer, and we're saying, look, the guy that we just pulled out of the list, get his X value and cast to an integer. Is it where we, being the monkey or the evil monster, are currently at? And if that matches, so here's an and the Y matches, then what do we need to do? Well, we need to do the following. We're going to need to set our draw floor to false. because we're no longer going to draw the floor. We now need to draw that game item back in that location. And we can go ahead and break out, because remember, we're inside this loop right now. We don't need to continue looping through items because we haven't really designed the system where we can layer multiple sprites on top of one another, like there can be a potion and a key there. Really, you're only expecting one game item to be located in any cell. So at this point, we need to just go ahead and break out. Now, next thing we're going to do, I'm going to go ahead and stick with this. We're going to erase the sprite out altogether. This will eliminate any possible flickering stuff. But the next thing, let's go ahead and throw in a little comment for you guys. We're going to, let's see, storing what is about to become my old position. So to do this, I'm going to just quickly float old x is going to be equal to my current position x, because that's going to get modified in just a second. And my old y is equal to my position in y, like such. And I'm going to do one more thing. I'm going to create a variable bool that is called has moved and is true. I'm going to assume that we are indeed moving, but I want to make sure that we have moved, because what happens if we did not move from that location because, let's say, there was a monkey or something that we were going to run into, so we just ended up not moving. So that means the next time through we're going to rerun all this. But to finish off this code, if I then at this point, before I get out of the function here, draw my mana potion, it's going to end up drawing the mana potion over my monkey, and we don't want that to happen. So basically, I'm going to use has moved to determine if I have truly moved or not. Okay, now once that's set, we'll go ahead and set my new position. So now my character is actually moved. So the next thing I want to do is go ahead and come in here and do a check. So again, still a comment in here. If my new position is my old position, here we go. I've not moved, just like I said. Yay. Okay, now to check that, it's just basically going to be if old x is equal to pos.x and old y is equal to pos.y. Then what we're going to do is set has moved to false, like such. So we've not truly moved. Now we'll go ahead and take care of our facing stuff here. Now what I want to do is come down here and handle drawing my sprite back. So I was on a how about we do it like this? I was on a potion, just for now. And now I'm moving. That's going to basically be the result of what happens if this following if statement is true. If we're not to draw the floor, so if not draw floor, and we have move. Okay, so basically we're not supposed to draw the floor, and we have moved, so what are we going to do? Well, it's already all set up for us. We need to go ahead and typecast over to pickup, and basically, hang on a second. You know what? This is some old code in here, just kind of a little bit, and I don't really have to do that. But that's all right. Let's just go ahead and finish this off. You guys should know exactly what I'm talking about. The pickup, so iter, like such. And what do we want to do from this? Well, guess what? It's all in place. Set visible, like such. And what do we want to set it? True. Bink, bink, done. And then we can go ahead and draw the sprite, because this is now being drawn in a new location, okay, because we have moved. It's verified right here. And set visible, if you guys remember from back over here in our pickup.cpp file, set visible. So viz, if it's true, we're going to redraw the particular item in the location it needs to be at. So it works great for us. Okay, so coming back over here to fireball, or excuse me, I'm sorry about that, over here to enemy. I do believe that is everything we are going to need to have this work beautifully for us. So let's go ahead and compile real quick just to make sure that I have no errors in here. And look at that, looks great. Let's go ahead and execute the application. And, oops, wrong one. Let's go ahead and come back up here and make sure we set this guy as our startup. Here we go. File, new, and you, die. Let's see if we can get some monkeys to, like, here we go. This guy, come to us. Come to us. You can come. Step on it. Now step off of it. Aha, look at that. It looks like it had never disappeared. So, here he's on it, and it's off. So our code is now working beautifully. Fire. Oh, we've destroyed it. How sad. Oh, the next fireball went right through it. Is it going to respawn? Answer is yes, it is. So everything is working beautifully. Plus, of course, if I come through here and collect all of this, I've now picked up 6 times 3, 18 points of mana, and respawn, respawn, and respawn. Perfect. And so let's go ahead and just close on out of that. So with that, that has really wrapped up everything that I wanted to cover in the bonus material. It was put together quickly as a last-minute thing just to give you guys just a little bit of extra video so that you have an idea of what it is that can be done to implement just a basic pickup system and throw some mana potions in there just so that you can change the feel of the game. And we've done just that. You're now dependent on that mana potion. Without it, you're in trouble. And with that, I would like to thank everyone that is watching this video that has purchased the C++ VTM number 5 from us at 3DBuzz.com. We really appreciate your support. Your money goes back into 3DBuzz.com to continue running the site and allow us to continue producing free education for those that are unable to get videos like this. So that support is greatly appreciated. And with that, I hope that you guys have picked up a little bit of something from this bonus material and, of course, from the VTM itself. And I thank you very, very much for your time. And with that, that's going to wrap up this lesson and the entire VTM. Thanks a lot, guys. Make sure to come by and visit www.3dbuzz.com. See you later.